Hello, everyone, and welcome to Rake Appreciation Society. We are so excited to have you. Um, we're so sorry it's been so long, but life happens, and this is just for fun. So we meet when we can meet. That's how it goes. And I'm just excited that we're back. Hi, Crystal. How's it going?
Good. Hi, Jen. How are you?
Good. I have my
Good.
Diet Coke with lime, and it makes me think of you.
I love those. I haven't seen those around lately. I can
Yeah, I
find
found
the coconut Dr. Pepper everywhere, though.
I just finally found that, and now I've seen it in three different places.
hmm
Um, but I better not have that at 8 o'clock at night. That wouldn't be smart of me to have Dr. Pepper this late at night, but it's exciting. But anyway, well, let's give people just a couple minutes to everybody get here.
Okay.
Um, I I don't know what's been going on with life. We should tell people a little bit. It's been so long since we had book club. Everyone knows. I don't know. We have a pretty big crossover, obviously, but
Uh,
oh,
hold on.
now
You
the
go
dog's
first.
here. Never mind. I'll go first. Okay, everybody. Well, June just started. I have a surprise birthday party for my friend that I'm going to this weekend. I just had, let's see what else. In your 30s, I feel like it's boring, but I still stay busy all the time. So I have that. I'm going to be going to Valley Fair in a couple weeks with my sister and the girls. That'll be their first time. Valley Fair is in Minnesota. It's an amusement park, kind of like a medium-sized one. So that'll be really fun. And then at the end of June, beginning of July is always my family camp that I go to with my friend's family. Otherwise, May I had two different not book clubs, two different readathons. I was on a podcast. There was off campus that came out. So like I feel like May went by so fast. There was so much fun stuff going on. So yeah. But still waited till the last minute to get our books done because I am a hot mess like that. But anyway,
What what was that last bit you said? You waited till the what?
still waited till the last minute to get our books done, even though,
Oh yeah. Yeah, literally me too. So, and I
yeah.
actually, yeah, we'll talk about that when we get into the books, but yeah, I waited
Okay.
till the last minute.
All right. Well, let's see who's here because I actually have like a ton to say. I have a lot to say, so we won't wait too long. But hi, both. Looking forward. Hey, girl. Do you say your name Ania? Is that how you say your name? Or is it Alina? I can't tell. I think that's Ania. Hi, Crystal. Hey, girl. Didn't get the chance to read, but here for the chat. Girl, I'm here. I'm all about it. And you are probably having so much deserved like relaxed time because you were the queen in May hosting everything and running the readathon. So you're awesome. But yeah, well, what should we start with? Where do you want to start with everything?
Whichever one you want. Yeah. Should we start? Do you want
Uh,
to? You choose.
well, you maybe seem like you did you not finish one? Is that what you're hinting at?
That's
Or did you
correct.
DNF
Yeah.
something? Well, which one did you finish? We'll start
Let's
there. How about
let's
that?
start with let's start with the Catherine Ash. Okay.
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 Okay. All right. Everybody, we're starting with oh wow, they changed up how these look. We're starting with My Lady, My Lord over here. Which did this book surprise anyone else? How about that?
Yeah.
Who knew that this was a paranormal romance for half of the book? Surprisingly, anyway. Um, so what was everybody's rating for this one here? I'll put up a couple more comments because I know I said I was going to wait, but like I legit have a lot to talk about, so it's selfish of me to be like, let's get going here. But hello, can't wait to hear your thoughts. Basically, ignore the first eye. Oh, so Ania. Okay, okay. You're ramping up for BookCon. Oh, how fun!
Yeah, that's
Hey,
exciting. Hey,
Linda.
Linda.
I came close to DNFing one of the books. I this will be interesting. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to talk about everything. Okay, what were people's ratings though? If you finished or if you read My Lady, My Lord, what were people's ratings for it? You first, because this was your book.
Okay. So, I DNF'd this one.
Oh, you did.
So
I'm
my
so
reading
excited.
mood, my reading mood has been terrible, honestly. Like
Mm-hmm. Fair.
really having a hard time with things like for holding my attention enough to even get anything out of it. And this book just pissed me off from the first.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
Yeah.
knew that it was just going to be a hate read, so I just DNF'd
Ooh.
it because I couldn't stand it. So
When
if
did
I
you
had finished
DNF
it,
it? I
I
gotta know because I was so close to the same. So I gotta know where you DNF'd it because
I don't even
I gotta know.
remember. Like, I was about halfway through, and this makes me so sad
Okay.
because so this was, if in case anybody doesn't know, this was my pick. I've read this author before. Her book, The Duke, is one of my favorite historical romances. It's very romantic, it's very historical, it's very sweeping and epic. It takes a lot of time. It is the complete opposite of this. I honestly didn't know this is classified as a rom-com. Like, that's what it's under on
Mm,
Audible.
sure.
So the title, I think it fits in a certain way once you know what the plot twist is, but it also gives the
Mm-hmm.
feeling of what I expect from her before, you know?
Right, right.
So I didn't like the tone of it. I didn't like the characters. I got almost halfway and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't
Okay.
do this anymore.
Yeah. Did you get to the switchback?
No.
Okay. Okay. Nope. I was literally at the same place and I gave myself the rest of the day at the gym on Monday and they switched back when I was at the gym.
Yeah.
And then I loved this. I gave it 4.5 star and I rounded to a 5.
Did you
It's
really?
so effing good on the
See,
backside. Oh, it's so
that's the
good. So
thing
anyway,
because
good.
I'm fine to
But I was
get
hating it.
spoilers,
Yes,
but
I'll tell you. I
I
was hating it.
knew that this is maybe going to cover some of your questions, but I knew
Yep.
that they were setting him up for a massive character arc. Like
Hmm.
it's so obvious. They're really hitting it. She's hammering it home how horny he is, how much of a rake he is, like you
Yep.
and the whole premise of switching, like
Yeah.
you know the setup is for a great character arc. And she really can do that well. And I've read three other books from her that I really love.
Yeah.
But I just was like, nope.
I know.
I've reread some books recently that I loved, and I
Hmm.
just didn't have it in me to suffer through this. So,
Yep. No, and I don't blame you at all because literally I should have written the percent, but I was at around 40 to 42%. And
yeah,
I
that's
went to the
probably
gym
where I
on
was at
Monday.
too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
went to the gym on Monday and I said, I will listen to this for the next hour while I'm here. And if I don't care about these characters, I'm DNFing because I
Yeah.
had to get to the next book. So by the time I got out of the sauna, I was liking it a lot. And so then I was like, okay, I'll keep going. And on the drive home, I read the line that made me love the book. And I'm actually going to read it in
Yeah,
a little
let's
bit
hear it.
because when we get to the each of the characters, I completely understand. I hold no ill will to anyone because I would have DNF'd it if I had waited another like I don't know. She'd waited another 10 pages to make me like these people because
Hmm.
I didn't realize it was like rom com. I didn't realize that there was paranormal stuff, and so this is so unlike the tone of her other stories. So
Yeah.
anyway, we'll keep going with this because yeah, it seems everyone agrees so far. No, everyone dislikes, but yeah, I give this a 4.5 star, and I will round it to a 5. So let's start with the worst parts then, because I do have them, obviously. And the reason why I couldn't quite give it a 5, even though that's what I'll rate it on Goodreads, is because the pacing was bad for me. The descriptions were so confusing. Okay, this is what Linda was saying. I'll pull hers back up here. That I couldn't get into it. I
Yeah.
was so confused. And in
It was
audio, that's
hard.
even
Yeah.
worse. That's even worse in audio because the female is using the male voice because
Hmm.
she's being Corinna but talking like Ian, but then it's saying she, and then like it was so confusing.
Yeah. That was
And
super hard.
oh my gosh, it was so hard. And then they're just like being so frustrating. And so I didn't even get it in my head about the rom com part. I feel like that would have been better because I would have gotten on board with that more. I was just like, okay, she can't have like, because anyway, there wasn't any relationship development while they were in each other's bodies
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
So when I got to the point where I was starting to, I was like, okay, well, now she switched them back. I need her to work on the romance ASAP because this is still a romance book here, and I don't like either of them. But once they switched back and they kind of put each other in these pickles, then we started getting, okay, I should move into the best part. But anyway, I'll let people other say the worst parts. But I was like, you need to start explaining things. And then we started trickling in, well, these people have known each other their entire lives.
Yeah.
Why do they hate each other so much? And then we started to
Hmm.
get to some stuff. So let's
Yeah.
read this here. Don't know what to rate it. I struggled through a lot of it. It took a long time to care about them. I think it's a 3.5. Totally fair. I hadn't read any of this author's before, so I'm glad to hear this book isn't
Yeah.
typical. Otherwise, I might be discouraged from trying another. The audio kept confusing me. Yeah, it was so confusing,
It
Amber.
really
Like,
was.
really.
Yeah.
I that was a rough part of it. Okay, worst parts, please.
Yeah.
Any.
If going back to Ania, is that it? Ania, her
Mm-hmm.
comment.
Yeah.
If you like a really slow building romance and slow building story, beautiful writing, because she is a competent writer in this book too. It doesn't have, I feel like, her beautiful writing, and
Mm-hmm.
you like rich historical details, like you have got to read The Duke because it's so
Yeah.
completely different than this book. Like
Yeah.
just completely different in tone. But
It was so odd. It was so odd.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel like there's a lot to rant about, but I'll change to the best parts just because I want to get into what I really liked about this one. Um, so for me, the best parts of this were how they come to understand each other, and once they switch back, which I don't know why she wasn't trickling more of this in beforehand, because if you're not going to have them building the romantic part in the first half, which I guess I kind of understand. And a lot of the stuff they learn about each other during the time when they're in each other's bodies really comes into play in the second half about having empathy for one another, which of course it would. Of course it would. And it's something that when there are movies where people do body swaps, you don't really get to see because they
Yeah.
body swap back right at the end. And this one, they body swap back, I think, at like 55% or so. They both do a sacrifice for one another. Well, actually, it's only one of them does. The other one doesn't complete their mission. But let's see. I got to keep it straight in my head. Who does it? So Corinna is able to win the bet and get his horse back, but he isn't able to get her the publishing company because the guy will not sell to a woman because he's a
Mhm.
complete asshole. And that really sets something deep into Ian about just how unfair that is in a way that her telling him couldn't until he's literally experiencing it, which I'm like, oh, yes, great lesson to get. But the goddess is able to realize how deeply they understand each other now, even though the mission wasn't completed on Ian's side. Like, it's not his fault. He tries. But once they switch back, then is when the romance really started to develop, then. And we start getting these flashbacks, and it becomes obvious they've been obsessed with each other their whole lives. And all of this anger comes from foiled desire, is really what a lot of it is. And the fact that she was there for him when he was at his weakest. And so he turned that into like make her hate me a little bit type of thing. But like his brother loved him so much. And so she's like, well, you raised your brother. Your brother wouldn't be this good of a man if like you didn't do a good job with him. And um, so I really love that about it. And I like that they didn't do anything sexual in each other's bodies besides a
Yeah.
little bit of touching. Like, I'm really glad she didn't go that way. I think in a contemporary, they absolutely are. I'm just going to say they absolutely are masturbating in each other's bodies in a modern story. And I'm really glad that they don't, because it leads to some really beautiful, intimate things later, particularly a line from his point of view where he says like I've been in your body but I want to be in it as me, which I was like, whoo, all right, that was a good one, good job, sir. And she's like, you didn't touch me? And he's like, well, I did once because I was like, what is this? And he's like, but then I didn't because I was like, she doesn't use this word, but he's saying like I didn't have your consent to touch
Yeah.
you, which is what it is. And I was like, oh yes, I love this stuff. um let's read someone else's favorite part, because my favorite part was that the relationship with other characters and how that was part of how they developed a better understanding of each other, especially Ian's younger brother. Yes, that is exact. You took the word out of my mouth. I love it. But I'll move us along because my favorite. parts about them is, so I rated them, of course, which I don't know if maybe you want to since you didn't finish it. You're of course welcome
Yeah.
to. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I gave them both eights. I really love them. And it leads to the moments when they both fall in love. So those are the lines that I want to read. So she realizes she's in love when he gives her back all of the books that I think he like she'd bought them as him for him to do research on like getting her the publishing thing or whatever, but then he gives them to her. And so she has this line where she gets given all the books and her sister, his sisters, it's so confusing. I'm sorry. Who's siblings? And then their parents get married, so they're all siblings anyway. So let's that happens, by the way. You wouldn't know that their parents get married, and they were going to become step siblings. Okay, that happens. Um, but there's this line for her when she falls in love, and she says this. She says, she looked at the volumes, and a wave of heat rose from the soles of her feet into her chest. Emotion, powerful and vital, shivered outward from beneath her ribs, weakening her with longing at once heady and exhilarating. She stared at Ian's gift, a sign of what he had done for her and who he truly was, a decent, generous man, and she fell in love, deeply, hard, and completely. Lightheaded, shallow breathed, and trembling, she let herself slide into sweet, sharp chaos and could not do anything about it. Then she remembered how it felt when he had touched her, and she fell harder. Dimly, as though from a distance, reason insisted she should not be surprised. She had resisted for days already, probably weeks, maybe even years. But her cool intellect was no proof against the thunderous beating of her heart, her reckless, heedless heart. She followed Callista and Lady Chance to the horses, but she was lost. She loved him. Finally, after years of Ian insisting that she was I can't pronounce that word, that she was cold of body and heart, she burned for him and the single most inappropriate man for her, and now the only man for her. So that's when she falls in love with him. And I was like, oh shit, this is so good. So that was when she fell in love with him. And all the rest of the book is just like them trying to do all these actions for the other one without actually saying that they love one another. And when he realizes he's in love, I really was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. And that line was, what does he say here? Oh, this one was so good. Where is it? What is this one? Um, Great. I marked it, but now I can't find it. Let's see what other people are saying. And then I highlighted it in my phone. I was going to read it from my book, but I highlighted everything because I was like, otherwise you won't find this again. So let's see. Oh my gosh, why is everyone messaging me? I'm just looking up stuff. Okay. Um, oh yeah, and then this was just one line that did it for me. He said this. He said, "I have had your body. I know your mind, and I still desire you." That's what he said to her after all that. But there's a whole they're bantering back and forth. So anyway, I lost my steam there after that. The point is, I really like all the steps they take. But the biggest issue too, and what's kind of funny, and these two books are so similar. They're so similar in they're both blue stocking heroines. They're both like have these missions where they're trying to do good. Like
Mhm.
they also both misunderstand each other till the last effing page of the book. I will say that about the other one. They just refuse to see how much the other person thinks of them. And every time the person makes a gesture, they assume the person is like discounting their intellect of some way like that. But they also both just pine for each other like so hard all the way through that I just I don't know. It's just so different from everything else I've been reading, and I just love that stuff. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but anyway,
I mean, she can do pining. That's why I love her. And I think this is a really interesting example of Like I am much more trusting of an author that I've read and loved than I am of
Yeah,
just tropes. But this
right.
is, that doesn't always mean everything they write. I think this was clearly
Oh yeah.
experimental. She was definitely trying something new, trying to get a different audience, but I love that you're saying that the pining and stuff is still there.
Oh yeah. And they do make like they make so many sacrifices for each other, but they refuse to see that the other one's doing it too. And
Hmm.
so it has that like this one had the feeling to me of almost like persuasion in that bit where
Yeah.
like they just keep like missing the point with each other and then they hold it against each other a bit.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I didn't read this one because I couldn't find a copy that was free, and I usually don't spend money on books that I know nothing about. Maybe I will get it now after that review. I mean, the other point I want to say too about why the pacing of this is hard is that as Crystal was saying, like they piss you off. Like they were so frustrating. Like I said, I was minutes away from DNFing this book. If it wasn't a book club book, if it wasn't Crystal's pick, I would have gotten rid of it. Like because
Yeah.
I just because I was like I was so excited for book club and we haven't had it in
Hmm.
so long that I was like I'm gonna get through this book, and I don't give any books this much time anymore. And so to me, yes, you can demand of your authors to or your readers to take longer, right? And I think this one is this from what year is this one? 2014, right? I feel like our attention spans were longer in 2014, right? Like I know that about myself. That's not a judgment of anyone else. I know that of myself. My attention span is not this long. And
Yeah.
so I just to spend so much of the book where I dislike them
Hmm.
uh, is a big ask. Like I wanted to see other sweeter things popping through. And I'm okay if they keep misunderstanding the sweetness, but I feel like they only show the asshole parts of them. And then in the
Hmm.
second half, it's like, oh, but really it was these things. And I'm like, I wanted
Yeah.
you to show me more.
And I mean, I guess for me, like, it honestly didn't have a thing to do about pacing. Like, things were happening that was progressing the story. It was all just about, I don't like these characters, and I am
Right,
not willing to suffer with them any longer. Like, I don't like them, I
right.
don't care about them. So even
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
and that's why I feel like she's deliberately doing that. She's
yeah,
being very ham-fisted about how terrible he is to make you like to foreshadow he's going to have a big character change,
right,
but
right.
I don't know. Right now with my reading,
Mm-hmm.
unless it's my Patreon book, I'm just not going to. If it is not, if
It's
I
fine.
am frustrated and angry with it, I'm not going to read it because
Yeah, yeah.
I honestly really didn't enjoy anything about this.
So
And
no, I love it. Give it to me. Okay, I'm so fine by that. The other thing I would like to say though is that I was going to answer to what I meant about the pacing. I meant the romance pacing was too slow.
yeah,
The, not that there wasn't stuff happening. I mean, there was so much happening that like, where are these people loving each other? And I think that matches with what Ania is saying here, where it's like there wasn't enough transition between enemies to lovers. Well, here's the thing: these two aren't really enemies. Okay, they're lifelong friends who,
yeah,
when he lost his father, she was there for him in a moment of weakness, and now he's blamed her the whole time. They're not really enemies. And we're coming into the story where they are rivals with each other and they're butting heads, but they're not enemies. And
yeah.
I don't think she does a good job of showing that until the back half. Like their families are dear friends, their parents are getting married, and everyone thinks they're going to be together. Like they're that kind of couple where everyone thinks they're going to be together. So to me, they're not really enemies, but she doesn't do a good job of like where she starts the story, you
Hmm.
believe that they are. Um, and so that makes them just so unlikable because it's like when you have a long term feud, but you're only seeing them at a peak of it, when
Yeah,
really most of the time it's like they would die for one another. They care deeply about one another, but they also know all the ugliest parts of each other, and that's what they're riling up because they've known one another their whole lives. um, and that's what really got filled in the back half of it for me, when they know all these intimate things. And like there's a scene where like she almost gets hurt, and there's a super powerful scene maybe you read up to this point, like the one where he gets attacked as a woman. Like, did you read that scene?
I don't think so. I may have
Okay,
been before
okay, yeah,
that that I stopped.
okay, he's on the way home as her from his house, which, remember, like, their houses are only like three down from one another, or maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't say remember. That's where it is. So he's going home from her house, and he gets attacked as a woman and can't get away. And it's a really powerful, like, reminder of just like this woman that he sees as so strong, her body can just be overpowered at any time. And like just these like different little things too. And it's actually his own, one of his friends that rescues him, like as a woman, like as her, like, so there were a
Hmm.
lot of really cool things like that. And um I don't know. But again, I absolutely would not have finished this if it wasn't book club. And if
I
I hadn't,
just
so, and that's inexcusable because it's like I shouldn't have to, but I really liked
no,
it
I
because I
mean,
did finish it. So
I don't think there's a thing wrong with that. I mean, she set up this reward that is coming, and you
yeah,
waited and trusted that it was going to be worth it, and it was for you. So I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that at all. Like
yeah. Oh, I know.
I just feel like my distaste for the characters, like it would have had to have been like a real huge huge thing, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it comes down to some structural issues in how the author sequenced things, which might have been harder for the author to navigate with the body structure. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, me, I'm just gushing about everything I felt too. Like,
Hmm.
I'm not trying to change anyone's opinion. This is book club. I'm just pouring
Yeah.
it all out there.
Yeah.
I think I also do think higher of it because Crystal said the payoff was really good for me. I was really moved by some of their sacrificial choices. And
Hmm.
um, he even like proposes to her in front of the statue at the end again to show like, look what you did for us. And like there was just some really beautiful like payoffs for it. And I think that though, if I had thought of it as a rom com when reading, I would have had more patience for how over the top it was. I
Yeah.
didn't even click in my head she was trying to be rom com, which makes more sense with it being a body swap. What else is it supposed to be, Jen? I didn't even think of that until
Yeah.
you just said that. Because duh, that makes more sense about how slapstick and over the top
It
they were in the beginning.
yeah, there
I was
definitely
just
was
thinking
some
paranormal. Yeah,
body humor type of slapstick that is just undeniably. And
yeah. And it's
honestly,
funny.
I do kind of admire that she did that because I don't
Right.
know of anything else like that in historical, really, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, let's wrap up with this one then. Let's get into the other, since I think it was mostly just people said, but we already kind of said. Did you read others besides the Duke?
I read The Duke, The Prince, and the Earl in that series.
Okay.
There's four. And
Hmm.
I love The Duke, one of my favorite historical romances, and The Prince is right up there too. But the Earl had like a slower build in the romance with less payoff for me. But I still have one more book in that series that I need to go back and finish. But yeah, I would
Yeah.
she's fantastic
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
those. Those are amazing.
Yeah. I didn't clue into it. Yeah. I did not see the tag that Chris was talking about. That it was. I just bought the book because it was our.
Yeah,
So I wish I would have seen that. I'm bummed.
my
My
Audible, I don't know if
Audible.
it got an update or what, but it's like different. It's so and so
I
it
am not
had it
noticing.
tagged right at the top, like rom-com,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, okay. But
Yeah, I wish I would
yeah.
have seen this. I do think after talking though, I probably actually would go down to four because those are some pretty big issues. Um, but I
Well,
still stand strong at my four with it.
I mean,
That's probably where I would end.
I guess it depends on how you want to rate it because I think
Yeah,
every single one of us has a book that has issues that still hits us emotionally. And
yeah,
so if that's the thing that made it worthwhile, then it's a 4.5 or a 5 for you, you
I
know?
don't know.
Like
Yeah,
it's unless those things dimmed your enjoyment of that, like that's the thing that is
yeah,
hard for me because sometimes I do see those structural things and it affects my rating, but then when I get to the end, I remember
yeah.
like how I felt and I'm like,
Right,
no, it's got to be, you
right.
know.
Well, and we'll see about that because what I have for this other one, I actually have in my notes that this is a five or a six for me. This
Okay.
book is. And
Okay.
I want to talk about it because I don't know if I'm just wowed by things, but there's some pretty serious things I loved about this book. Um,
So
I
yeah.
was, I don't think that you liked it either.
No,
You're giving me the
that's not it
impression of not
actually.
liking it. Really?
That's not it. I
Oh,
didn't finish it. I didn't finish it,
oh no!
but not it's not a DNF. It's a I didn't have
Okay,
time to finish it.
okay.
I got 30% in and I
Oh,
had to
okay.
slow the audiobook way down for this narrator. And
Oh, okay.
I say had to, but it was really a choice. I was enjoying her writing so much. Like I feel like I've been hearing about this
Okay.
author forever. Sorry, I'm just
Okay.
gonna go off now. Tell
No,
me to
do
stop if
it.
you.
Do it. I love hearing this. Give
I've
it
been
to
hearing
me.
about this author forever. She's always gets mentioned. I know Sarah McLean specifically loves her. And I feel like
Mm,
I have put
okay.
off reading her for so long because I'm like,
Yeah.
what if she doesn't measure up? You know, like what if she doesn't measure up? So I was
Oh,
really glad you picked
okay.
this one because I've had this in my Audible library forever and I've wanted to read it, but I've always been a
Yeah.
little scared because I'm like, this is one of the
Right.
last great historical romance authors that I haven't tried and I want to enjoy her. So
Oh,
I loved her writing. I loved the setup.
good.
I
Me
loved the
too.
characters. Like, I was
Okay.
really disappointed I didn't get to finish this in time. Like, that is 100%. I don't even know. All of a sudden, it's June. I don't know what happened. Like, May was just a time warp, you know? So I
I
was trying
know.
to finish other books up for Patreon and things like that. And so I didn't finish it in time, but it's not like I'm going to
Okay.
finish this because I loved everything that I read, but it just
No.
wasn't
Okay.
enough of it.
Well,
So
that's great to hear. I love hearing you slowed it down because you were loving it because I was loving the writing too. And I was
yeah.
shocked. I don't know why, but in my head, I have not heard any of the things you said about Sarah McLean liking her. I haven't heard any of those things. And for some reason in my head, I was kind of putting her in the same category as like Christina Britton or some of those,
Oh,
which I'm not
yeah.
saying bad, but to me, those are like
Like
authors who are kind of,
mid
yeah.
tier kind of.
And
Yeah.
so, and also, again, I'm not judging, but like the cover has kind of that same mid vibe where I was like, what
hmm
is this going to be? Is
Yeah,
this going to be straight, like
it's
a
not a
rock?
great
Like,
cover.
I
Like
have
you can
no
tell she
clue.
doesn't have a lot of marketing dollars behind her. Not that really any historical
Exactly.
romance does, but it's clear they're
Yeah.
like, this isn't our big seller, you know? But
Yeah. All right. I love this. Okay.
yeah.
4.5. It felt different. Love it. Rate it 4.5. Okay, good. All right, y'all are making me feel so much better. Okay. Well, how much do you want us to talk then? What do you
We
want us to
can
say?
talk, go ahead and talk. Like I am invested enough that even if I know
Okay.
how it ends, I'm still gonna keep reading it
Okay.
because
Well, I won't do that
yeah.
part. I'll still because some of my stuff is still kind of big. Because what do I like best? I can tell you that. I love the pining in this one. I love the siblings in this one, both hers and his sister. I
Yeah.
love what an obsessed brother he is, but trying to play too cool for school about it.
Yes.
Like, truly, I know he's being an ass in the beginning, but I loved the setup immediately of him being like, sister, you don't have to do that. Like, I'm taking care of
I
you.
know, I
Like,
know.
so he read so Lisa Kleypas hero coded.
He
I can
does.
tell you.
That's exactly it. That's exactly
He
it. He really
is.
does. Yeah.
He is to the last page. He's Lisa Kleypas' man. Okay. Or maybe Kelly Bowen, man. We'll see. But that is my
Yeah.
so that's stuff that I was loving. So okay. Let's see what other people are saying too before I just skip all the way ahead. On a side note, I didn't realize
Oh,
she's Canadian. Oh, cool.
I didn't know
Way
that
to
either.
go, Canada. Go ahead, sorry. Canada's bringing home all the wins. I love it. The sinking dynamics were great. Not sure what that if that was in this. I'm not sure.
Oh
His
gosh,
lost
I
puppy pining
know.
for her. I know. And even though he
Yeah.
was a little brat, I love it. I love it. She's so okay. Let's keep going. Let me say, I'll say a couple things that I like didn't like, which it was actually really hard to pick because again, for me, this is close to being a 6 star, and I am sad you're not done because I want you to talk me into it like I
Yeah.
have for you before. But I'll hold off. Really, the only thing I kept back, and I think maybe it's told right from the beginning, his big secret that he's keeping about that he's the one who bought her estate, the family estate, is so frustrating
Yeah.
because her it's not like it was bought forcefully. They chose to sell it. So it bothers me, and it does. I mean, we're here for book club. It does get kept to the end. It is a thing all to the end. And she just kind of keeps sibling dynamics. Okay, thank you. I was like, I'm not sure what you mean. Um, Kim, we're doing the Kelly Bowen. We're talking about that. I think he kept it too long. Yes, exactly. Because it's like, it is one of the secrets, though, that the more he learns about how much this place means to her, he's like, oh, I'm just digging my hole deeper. My hole is so deep, I can never get out of it. This is just going to keep digging this hole. um, but other than that, like, really, all the things that are complex and frustrating about them just make everything better for me. So I don't really have a problem with it. So that's why I don't really have a worst part in this, because I think everything is done with so much purpose,
Hmm.
and it doesn't ever feel like any of it is accidental. Um, and him keeping that secret, it leads to an opportunity for her to actually look kind of like the asshole in a moment, which is great. Um, because it isn't always the guy who's being the asshole. So I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
So rating the hero, I give him a 10.
Honestly, like I feel like I can't fairly rate him,
I
unfortunately.
know you
But
can't rate him.
what I've seen of him is the exact type of hero that I like. And I
Oh,
love how when he's introduced, it's all of his motivations are towards his sister and like, like you
mm-hmm.
were saying,
Yep.
I love I love a hero who is motivated to care for the people he feels responsible for. Not
Oh,
because he's responsible, but he cares about them and so he feels more responsible because of how much he cares. Like I love that. I love that so much.
yes. I truly, and even when there were like times in this when I was like, oh, I don't like this piece, but then it was all for a purpose. Like every part of him was for a purpose, and so I just adored that so much. Let me see. The humor and banter really landed. Yes, so much, so good. So, what is 30% for you? Like how? Like what's happened? Like
Oh
what's the last thing
gosh.
that's happened?
Let me
I know.
see.
Like, are they? I assume they're at the school, and he knows what the school is and everything. And
I may not be that far.
okay, I
Probably
guess I
not.
don't.
I don't
Oh,
have
it's
an
like
exact
Linda.
number. It looks like
Is he at
30%.
her home? Is he at her home and he knows where his
Yes.
sister went? Okay,
Yeah.
that is the school. Her home is the school. So he's a 10 for
A
me until the
9.
halfway mark. And then I know, but Linda, it makes sense actually to me. But I get it. I get it. I'll take a 9. I'll take a 9. The
Yeah.
biggest shock for me actually is I also give her a 10. And I'll tell you something that I wrote. Well, I guess I put 9.5 for her, but she's a 10. She's the best blue stocking I've ever read. Like,
Really?
ever read. Because here is why. And literally, it's her whole theme. It's literally a theme of hers. She
Hmm.
isn't trying to change the world. She's trying to change what she can. She has a plan to do it. She doesn't do it loudly or order anyone else to change. She's helping the women that she can help. She is affecting her community. She's doing what she can within her power. Um, she isn't, well, I said that she isn't trying to shame anyone else for not trying to change who they are. But she does challenge him. And there's even a part where like she is asking him questions and he's uncomfortable and he's like, keep asking me these questions. I want to think about them. And I just love how that's done because it, oh my gosh, it just isn't preachy at all. It just makes you
Hmm.
cheer for her. And
Yeah.
that's what I want because it's like, yes, it's so good. And what is why I said this felt the way the heroines were a little bit felt the same in the books is because yes, I think that the heroine in that one like screeches, but she's only screeching at the hero who's being a jerk to her at times. She's not to other people. She just wants to be a publisher and she wants to do these things. But in this one, this heroine is like actively doing things and affecting people's lives and giving these women confidence. Like there's a beautiful scene early on where like the hero is actually spying on her leading a class where she takes these girls to the edge of a cliff and has them lay down and look at the sky. And she says, if you were a man, what would you want to do? And they just list all these things. And it's so cute. And it doesn't feel like she's I don't know, it doesn't feel like she's being like, you can do those things,
Hmm.
because they can't. And she
Yeah.
knows it. But she's like, but we can find ways that you can use the skills of those things and be productive and feel like you're getting to live your dream. And later on in the book, there's a scene when she's with the hero and it's like, when they got married, like my parents grew up wealthy. They had everything. But when my parents got married, my father gave my mother a like a job. Like he gave her stuff to do. And that was the greatest gift because he knew her. He knew that's what she wanted. Because the life she grew up in, she was bored and she
Yeah.
could be so much more. And that's what I offer these women is that they can be so much more. And he asked her at one point, he's like, but they'll never be able to do this. So why are you giving them this and then take it away? And he's like, but that's not how they're going to feel. Like, they'll find ways to use these skills in what they do. And really, I really don't want to spoil the home because it's beautiful, but the things that he then his relationship with his sister, how he comes to view that, and not that his sister has to work, but the same passion he has for
Yeah.
doing things like he can give her, because that's the thing to him is he sees it as work because he's had to do it to get them out of the gutter and out of the workhouse, but she wants to do it and
Mm.
he just can't get that around his head. So anyway,
Yeah.
let me see what everyone's saying. But oh my gosh, I just love it. She's the best that I've ever read. Okay. I felt we had to suspend our disbelief about the existence of this very untraditional school where the mix of young ladies attend, but I love the concept so much that I was along for the ride. Fair enough. You're right. I never thought of her as a blue stocking. Duh, but you're right. She's an amazing educator, not just a woman, but she wants to educate men too. Yeah. I love how she challenged him and yet also recognized her own feelings. Yes, so good. I love that scene when he walks into the art class and they're painting a nude woman. Yes, it was really funny. Well, but that's what I mean is like she doesn't fit the shrieking blue stocking that is the annoying archetype that they kept pushing down our throats like 5 years ago.
Hmm.
She is the archetype of what's a practical way. So while I agree that we have to suspend our disbelief, kind of the whole point of this school is that not everyone knows it's a school. Like it's like a
Yeah.
getaway that they go to and it's a secret and she's letting them do these things. Like it's still very dangerous. Like being taught sexual education and being taught how to work with the numbers and do that. Like that's why it's all a balancing act and him knowing it, if she didn't trust him, they'd be fucked. Like it'd be over. And she's
Hmm.
like, please don't tell anyone about this because, we could all be in trouble. So anyway,
Well,
I love
and I
her.
I feel like what you're describing about how she is a good actual like blue stocking. So even though you have to suspend your disbelief for the school, like you were saying, like
Right?
it nobody knows that it exists, but it's also like I feel like that captures the feeling of what a actual blue stocking would be striving for. They would never ever look at it in the way that it is often written 5 years ago or whatever, where it's a
Exactly.
modern woman in a historical setting who knows what happens in the future and is, full of
Right.
feminine rage because of the injustice
Exactly.
and that
Storming
is what makes
Parliament.
it impossible to buy into.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you're not going to have a female MP right now. You're not, and again,
Yeah,
that's not to say it shouldn't happen, and it's not
right.
fair.
Yeah,
It's more like
exactly.
she, again, why I think she's so great is she says it. She's like, I am impacting what I can impact,
Hmm.
and he learns that lesson from her. I'll just say that, and the way that he learns it is so beautiful. It's so good, but it's also like he doesn't just copy what she tells him to do. He does it how it fits him,
Hmm.
and I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just so struggle with the blue stocking character because it's become a caricature. It's
Hmm.
become like, oh, rah rah, let's do this, and it was a whole rash of books that were that, and they had to be man haters, and that's just not true. Like, let's
Yeah.
find men who are on our side and that will want to learn and want to help us and love us
Yeah.
because like you have to be partners in that or she could not
Hmm.
if she didn't have a brother who supported her in doing this or a man who supported her in doing this she literally couldn't do it and that's not fair but it's
Yeah.
true.
Well, and that's the thing that makes it a caricature is that it's no longer a character. It's
Yep.
not, it is, it's a didactic
Yeah, you have one
moment.
character trait.
Yeah.
Hmm. 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 Yes, and this too. I mean, yeah, she's romantically experienced such that she could own her
Yeah.
sensuality. Yes, yeah, but it also wasn't like this was still like a slow burn too. Like he wants her the whole time, but he also has a little bit to make up for because he was a stupid kid. Like he was a
Mhm.
stupid kid, and he embarrassed her. Um, but yeah, I also like that both of these heroines were like older-ish, right? I think this heroine was 27, which I know that's not old, but it is for these. And this one, is she like 30? I think so. I
I
missed
don't
what her
remember
age
ages.
was
I
in
don't
this. I
remember.
know. I try to notice when it feels out of the old, but
Yeah.
I loved her brother. I want to read his. Yes, I know. Like her brother's the doctor, um, and her sister was the painter. And I love. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is. I'm gonna talk about this scene because it's not really a spoiler for the thing, but her sister's a painter, and she actually paints a portrait for one of the Duke's ex mistresses. And so there's a point in the book where his ex mistress like walks out of the room in a robe because she's just been painted. And you think it's going to be this really like, oh no, is this going to be a jealousy scene? What's going to happen? And yes, the woman like flirts with him a little bit, but she got painted. And he's like, oh wow, this is interesting that she's here for this. And when she walks away, he goes into the room and he goes and looks at the painting that's being done. And he realizes that how impressive it is because this woman that he was that was his mistress, she was in an abusive marriage before her husband died, and she would hide her body from him because her husband had made her feel bad about it. And now here
Mm.
she was getting her like nude body like painted, and he realizes that like he doesn't take it as a self, he's like that is so good that she's moved on, and that he's like I kind of helped with that because we were together until she was proud of herself again because he didn't let
Mhm.
her hide from him. And I love how the author just put that in there, and we don't feel jealous of this woman. She's not trying to get him back. Even if she flirts with him, it's that of like old lovers. It isn't her like trying to make. And Clara doesn't feel jealous. She's like, wow, this woman was beautiful, and she doesn't make a thing. And I was like, wow, that's just, it was just so beautiful in there. So I just really loved her writing. And yeah, I can't wait for you to finish it. We will definitely have to talk about it when you finish it. Because, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm going to read the other two. Yes, Linda, I should. So the brother, does he have a book? Is that why people are saying that? He must have a book if he's saying that. So
I do think this is a series, isn't it?
is it her siblings? I wonder.
Hmm. Oh.
Um, because yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the brother did because he was a doctor and he was cool.
Yeah,
Um,
there's three of
okay,
them, but
okay, but yeah, I'm just so glad. I yes, her brother and sister. Okay, 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 yeah.
mm.
But anyway, the romance for me, I thought that it was really swoony. I love that they both have been pining. This was like a 10-year long thing. They both have wanted each other. He didn't think he was like good enough for her. But he's also been so focused on business. Like he knew that it, and she thought it was because she was a spinster and because of that bet all those years ago. Um, and yeah, I just love how the author writes his mind. Um, that's one of my favorite things because he does think she's beautiful, but he's constantly just like appreciative of her as a whole person.
Yeah.
And that seems so basic, but authors mess it up all the time.
Yeah, they do. They genuinely, it's honestly surprising how often they do.
For something that's so important. So, how was the plot handled? I think it's a pretty like classic plot overall of like one person's keeping a pretty big secret in that sense. But I also thought it was pretty unique at the same time too. Um, I don't know. I liked her so much. I liked her and him so much. And
Mm.
yeah, I just thought it was really well done. So this was the my point too is that I also feel like the other one was a four. I read that one first because this one I was immediately hooked into this one
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
his like longing for his sister and things they figured out, and then his sister runs out. And then with the flashback with like the dare to like dance and like the line of, and he immediately regretted that he was doing it on a dare because he really just wanted to dance with her and like all of that stuff. I was like, oh, I'm hooked. So I definitely love this one more. And yeah, I don't know. I think I think it might be a 6 star for me. I don't know. It's so
That would be
fun.
awesome. You haven't had a 6-star historical in a long time, have you?
Courtney Milan.
Oh, right, right. Yeah.
Yep, Courtney Milan. He had initially asked her to dance on a dare. Yeah, yeah, yep. That's what I mean. But I believe in his like head, he regretted that it was a dare because he wanted to dance with her.
Mm.
Um, but then he's sad. The romance was perfect for me, especially that marriage wasn't necessarily
Mm.
the end all be all. Promise me you'll never dance again with anyone else. Yes, yes. Well, I also think that that's like a lie that they're both telling each other too, though. When we get to the end, because she doesn't think that anyone like he doesn't think that he could love anyone because he thinks love was the end of his parents. He's that type of guy. And she thinks she's past the age where she can marry anyone. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they do want to get married. That's the point. But they tell each other that it can't be anything. Although I will say, there is a certain point in here where I really thought he was going to go full Claypez, where when this would have won full Claypez if it did happen, because when he chases after his sister, I thought he was actually going to like chase after Clara and be like, I'm getting her. I want to marry her. But he
Yeah.
really lies to himself about wanting to marry her for a really long time. And I was like, yeah, the Claypez guy doesn't lie to himself for that long. He would have married her and then been keeping a secret from her the whole time. That's what a Claypez hero does. But that's okay.
Yeah,
Not
that's
everyone can,
true.
that's the level of I'm going to marry you and keep a lie from you. Like, someone married by more. No, no, no. Twilight. I think it's Twilight that one happens in. Let me keep it a secret from you. But anyway, would I read her again? Yes, I
Yeah,
absolutely will.
I mean, I'm not even done with this, but I would say that I would definitely try a lot of hers, you know. I think she's a real talent for sure.
Yeah. Oh, it just felt so good. It's so hard to just slip into a book. I know that sounds just crazy because I read so many, but for historicals, there's still all these years of reading them, and it's only gotten harder, I feel like, to just slip into one because
Yeah.
they just feel so alien to what's going on right now with everything.
Hmm.
So it's hard to go for it. But we're getting near the end here. Any other thoughts from anyone on A Duke in the Night? Otherwise, we did pick our books for summer.
We
So
did.
I will share that in a second. If anyone else has anything for. Yep, I wrote the wrong thing. Yeah. Yep. Hold on. Okay, I did pick our books for summer. Oop, let me see. We'll definitely read her again. I think I'll continue. Beautiful. Let me know how they go if you do, because
Yeah. I love
I
it. I love
want
that
to.
so many people liked that one.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know if I understand the title either.
I wonder if
Maybe
it's the
be,
theme of the series because they all kind of looked
yeah,
like but I don't know. I kind of hate when they do that. They just pick a theme. The Devils of Dover, A Duke in the Night, Last Night with the Earl, A Rogue by Night. Well, I don't know.
yeah. I don't know actually. Because now having read the whole book, I'm trying to think. It's not anything particularly at night that they do.
Mm.
Even if, even most of their trysts are during the day. So I don't know. I don't know. It might just be the title. I mean, I know it's nice when they mean something, but yeah, there's nothing special about the night. They actually like don't really hook up at night even. So I don't know. It might just be the naming convention. So there's
Yeah.
that. She might have picked the title and then wrote her book and kept the title because I'll tell you what, my author names all her books before she starts writing them,
Yeah.
and
It
usually
could
she
be
makes
a
a lot of
publishing
sense.
decision too. That's
Right?
probably what it is.
All right. What book did you pick, Crystal?
I did not bring it in, but
I
I
got it.
picked, okay, good. I picked A Lady for a Duke by Alexis Hall. I'm very excited. That's one of my favorite historicals, so that will be a reread for me, but I really want to revisit it.
All right. Beautiful. I have never read this one. It's been on my list forever, so it
It's
is time.
I'm really hoping it lives up to my memories because that I think is one of the most romantic books I've ever read.
Yeah,
So,
be good. All right. Yes. Linda loves this one. Okay,
yes,
and then
Linda.
mine was kind of on a whim, but I've been wanting to pick ones that I like own them either in my Audible or I own a copy. Um, and I ended up picking My Highland Rogue by Karen Rainey, which does have an audio. And this one I think is supposed to be a like longtime friends to lovers or something like that. Oh, it
That's
was The
another
Gardener's
author.
Son.
I've never read her before, so.
I remember why I liked it. It was reminding me of uh, mm, uh, again the magic because it
Oh,
says it was the gardener's son and he went to make his fortune and now he's back in Scotland 5 years later. But it isn't one where like he was chased away, like they've been friends while he was gone. So not exactly, but I mean like it was reminding me of that. Um, so anyway, and I wanted a Scottish story, so haven't
sorry, I keep
read.
you. Oh,
All right,
you are in for a
haven't
treat.
yeah, I know. Maybe if I read Crystal's favorite Alexis Hall, I can get her to read my favorite Alexis Hall. We'll see. That one's not a historical though. So
Yeah.
I love a good Highland. I know.
Mhm.
I'm missing the Highlands. So I was like, let me pick that. But anyway, well, we'll go ahead and wrap this up then. And yeah, we of course don't have oh, so yeah, I almost picked this one, Linda, but I didn't. I picked a newer one. I need to read this one eventually, so badly. Um, we will, get around to telling you when it is, but expect August sometime. That'll come before we know it, don't we know? It'll be
Oh
here.
gosh, it will. It really will.
It
And I will be
really will.
glad because I hate summer. I don't want it to be summer.
Ah, I'm so happy. I need a break from the winter. Winters are brutal here, so I need a
We
break.
had a very, very, very mild winter, so it feels like I don't know. I think our summer's going to be terrible, but
Oof, yeah, it's fair. But anyway, all right. Good night, my friends. Thank you for
good
joining us.
night.
Thank you for
Thank
reading
you.
these. I love you so much, friends. See you next time.